Hi everyone! Welcome to my first episode of 2018 and ever, actually. I am hoping to get 2 videos up a month. Today I'm doing a couple paint pours inspired by Rio Saris or Rio and Sais, depending on how you know them. If you haven't taken a look at their channel, please do because they are awesome and they're funny. They're really funny. Here I'm working on a sign for my husband and I. He and I chose the colors that we wanted to show up. I wasn't too sure how I was liking how they were turning out, the purple, blue, green, and red. So I ended up pouring as you saw, and I really like how it turned out actually. Here I am starting on a canvas for my cousin who lives in another state than I do. The colors that she chose were blue, purple, and yellow, which are not the easiest colors to mix, so I added in a few colors that I thought would look nice to help it not be so muddy looking. Here I have Master's Touch, and it is a crimson red, and I also added Daniel Smith's Iridescent Russet, R-U-S-S-E-T. I just wanted the red to have a little bit of a sparkle to it, because I like sparkles. Just sort of mixing it in to make sure that I actually like the colors that I picked to go together. Here is a Master's Touch violet with Daniel Smith's Duochrome Violet Fantasy. I'm actually not sure if Daniel Smith is selling these tubes anymore. I got these when they were going on sale in Seattle because they were no longer going to make their own paints, from what I understood. The white that I have is just a Master's Touch white, titanium white, sorry. It's just my basic white. It's the white that I go to always. The yellow is Master's Touch Yellow Medium. And the other yellow is actually a gold by Golden called Iridescent Gold and Fine. I didn't want to mix those two together completely because I kind of wanted to see how they might sort of interlay together, so that was kind of an experiment that I ended up really liking. The blue that I have is called Iridescent Electric Blue, also by Daniel Smith. I'm almost out of this paint specifically, and I'm going to be sad when it's gone. I am adding in Floetrol into each of the cups, just kind of measuring it out with my eye. I don't actually have an exact measure. And a dot or two of the treadmill lubricant, which is a silicone which helps make the paint cells pop up more when you heat them up. Well, you can heat them up, you don't have to. I did. The Floetrol is a paint thinner, so you actually don't need a lot of paint. It's mostly Floetrol that you're going to be using. I didn't want too much purple because it kind of clashes with yellow a bit more than the blue would. I just wanted enough for it to show up but not overpower. If you ever decide to pour paint yourself, or dirty pour paint, whatever you want to call it, with the white, just make sure you don't overmix but not undermix. The Floetrol and the white are both a titanium white color, and so it's kind of hard to tell if it was fully mixed or not. So just be careful with that. My battery died right there, so I had to plug it in and start over from where I was at, but thank God I heard it. Here I realized that I had poured way too much Floetrol into the yellow, so I poured some in with the gold, and I also realized that I had forgotten to put in the silicone in with the other paint pigments. So I'm just quickly adding it. You don't want to over stir it because it'll make too many small cells or sections of colors and not big ones. I tend to like the bigger ones myself. This one, I didn't stick to my rule that I just said, and I poured in the silicone before I was supposed to. And I did tend to overmix it in this one, but it actually had this cool Damascus sort of look. It was pretty nice. If you don't know what Damascus is, it's layering upon layer. So I ended up not really liking the way that this blue was turning out in comparison to the other colors, so I did grab 2 more colors, and it was Golden's Teal. It was like a mixture lightness, and Liquitex Heavy Body Light Blue Permanent, just to kind of make it a little more of a solid blue look. And a few drops. You really don't need a lot. You really don't, like 1 or 2 dots, any more than that, and like you're just gonna have way too much going on. And I'm gonna admit I don't really know what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of pouring the colors as I'm going and thinking about what colors might look good next to each other and which ones wouldn't. When you lift up your paint, it sort of pushes the paint into the rest of the cup so that the layers can be a little more I don't know what the word is that I want to use. It's not so simple. Complex, there we go, that's the word I was looking for. I didn't want to use too much purple, as I said, but I did try to get some in there to kind of break up the yellows a little bit. See there, the blue got a little chunky, so I probably wasn't working fast enough. You really want to make sure that you don't get a lot of chunks, and I dropped my paint. Not an uncommon thing for klutz to do. Here I decided that I wanted to do a, oh, it's not a flip, but it's basically going to hold it in there until I decide to let it go versus pouring it, which does create a little bit of a different effect. I started to question if I had enough paint in the cups or if I had enough red even. So I decided to add some red and yellow to just kind of add a little more liquid to the canvas. And I got a little worried as soon as I lifted up the cup. I immediately saw some mud and I got worried, and I just kind of went with it, and it actually looks really great now. The mud that I saw was the gold and the yellow sitting next to each other, so that's something I don't think I'll do again, which is put gold and yellow right next to each other. They can be in the same cup, just not one right after the other. I really liked how the blue suddenly popped up over there, and felt like it needed a little more yellow because my cousin likes yellow because it's a happy color, and that actually really faded in quite well. I was really happy with how that sort of flattened out with the rest of the paint and looked cohesive. And this is me struggling to take my glove off because I have paint on my fingers. My hands got a little hot. I should have put on another set of gloves, but I didn't, and now I have paint on my hands, but, you know, life of an artist. Here I am taking my blowtorch and sort of just heating it up. What that'll do is it'll activate the silicone in the paint, to make some more paint cells pop up to add in dimension. I don't know if you noticed, but near the top middle of the canvas, the yellow kind of really popped out some more. It's actually really cool to watch too. You don't want to get the flame too close because you're going to set your paint on fire, and that's a bad idea. I had some leftover paint and quickly made the decision to do one more canvas because I didn't want to let the purple, the blue, and the red go to waste. The yellows were pretty much gone, or the yellow and the gold were pretty much gone, but not those. And you can't really save the cups once you've done a pour. And there wasn't as much red as I thought there would be, but I decided to try to pull some from the paint that I had spilled earlier. It's so funny because what ends up coming off of the canvas usually is what's like the most pretty. So on the foil, I'm like looking at it like, oh no. And I'm sorry for the light change here. I'm still figuring out my camera. I decided to make a little bit of a pink because I wanted it to... I'm not the biggest fan of pink, but with blues and dark purples and stuff like that, a vibrant pink just looks so pretty. The pinks that I used was Master's Touch. It's actually called Purple Red. I don't really know why it's pink, but oh my, you know. And then Golden's Iridescent, Fluorescent Pink. It's a lightness pour, so it's very liquidy. Don't shake it before you do a pour if you ever add it in. It's a very liquidy consistency. You don't need to do much to it. And the more you stir, the more bubbles you're going to create in your paint. Now this one is just going to be for me. I'm probably just going to hang this up in my art room here because, like I said, these combinations are my personal favorite and I just didn't want to let them go to waste. I made too much paint, so I was like, well, I'll try to make it look like it's supposed to be there. I don't really think this did much other than make it easier for my paint that I ended up pouring to flow. I don't think it really popped up through the paint in the end, which is okay. I still got the paint to flow, which is what the ultimate goal was. But it did feel a bit wasteful. But sometimes you just gotta waste paint, you know? Things happen. So like I said, this is my very first episode. I am hoping to do twice a month to start out with, and if it becomes something great, if not, that's okay too. I'm still enjoying doing this. I truly hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and like I said, if you have not seen Rio and Sace, please take a look at them. They're great, they're funny, they know more of what they're doing than I do at least. If you ended up liking me, please leave a comment, put a thumbs up. Don't have to subscribe, but if you do, you'll know when I get to post new videos. Alright everybody, thank you.